But St. Louis,
we have to talk about the play.
We have to talk about the play. Okay. Kipp Keller passes the ball back to former teammate.
R.I.P. Kipp Keller. Because it was a tough night.
It was a rough go. But look, did you see Diego Fagundes and his? He put out a tweet
saying in support.
We need to support.
I've seen actually
we all make mistakes.
Articles come out from Austin FC fans saying we have to support.
And look, I've been to Austin yet.
Yeah, it's great.
One of the game day experiences for. I was at the first game and it was lit.
Show off. See, this is by the way why I want to come on the show, because you guys get free. You get so much more free stuff. You guys get invited to everything. I'm just like, I'll be there, and you're like, oh, you're also there. I'm like, this is my big invite. And you're like, this is one of the things the Cooligans are at. So maybe I'll be. Let's go to the St. Louis home opener.
Okay, you know what? You're on the show. That's it.
Give me free stuff, please. Give me.
But and even in that game, there was no goal scored, and it was still like unbelievably intense. And they've only shown that and grown that throughout, since I was there. But there's a certain feeling, and this is what I thought St. Louis was going to go through, which was at least intimidation. Mm-hmm. And thought they would be a little bit nervous that day playing against that team with that fan base there. And who was Cascante, right? Who got hurt. Yeah. Kipp Keller comes in, and I don't know if the moment was too big for him or whatever. I don't know if there's this guy on TikTok called Mr. Go 90. I don't know if you've ever seen this guy. Yeah. He like when anybody does a bad play, usually like in NFL, he'll do like a coaching session, like a coach watching the game tape, and he'll always say like, "Oh, the moment was too big for him. Look, you can see him. He pissed down his leg." It's like a common thing, and that's the first thing I thought of.
Well, it got worse and worse and worse because it went from he was marking Tim Parker on the goal, then he passed back to Jared Stroud, and then Klaus. Who's my guy? I love Klaus.
Who I just realized he's a Brazilian German.
Yeah, I don't even think he speaks German.
Oh, okay.
Like
he looks it
100, and he sounds it too, right? Yeah, no, but there's that whole. We can keep getting into our geopolitical or whatever. He lives in that region of Brazil where it's like all German. So if you ever go to Brazil, all the beer comes from the same state in the south. Like near Porto Alegre, which is where all the Germans live. And there's parts of it where they speak German, like in areas of Brazil, which is like, come on, you live in Brazil. He's part of that. And then he went to Germany, but maybe he learned it there. I don't know. We had a conversation about it and I can't remember. Super nice guy. Mm-hmm. We interviewed him at Media Marketing and I chatted with him for a while and he was like super nice, really excited. He had moved a lot. If you look at he's one of those Wikipedias where it's like, all the little arrows for loans out under every name. He had been on loan, like he had moved 8 different times in the last 3 years and he just was done with it. So he came here for this. And obviously Lutz had that background.
Yeah, dude.
He knew him. I think he brought him to Hoffenheim originally. So they've he's known about him for years. And it's a great goal. But where else is he going? Think about it. The play, like he goes down the right side of the box, isolated. Kipp Keller overruns him and he cuts back and it's like the only place he can score is cutting back. And that was where it was like, it went from bad to worse to even worse.
Yeah, I felt so bad for him.
And I felt for him. And the other issue is the other center back was playing in his first ever MLS game in Leo Väisänen next to him. They lost their starter last year because Gabrielson wanted to go home and be near his family and whatever.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just him, I think. It was a bad situation to get stuck in. It probably helped St. Louis that he was on I don't know that St. Louis would have
they targeted a particular defender. And then so there was this a meme that I found on Reddit, which is great. And it's the Pam from The Office, and when she's looking at the 2 pictures, and the top one says, "Kipp, the team needs you to needs you to find the differences between this picture and this picture." And one picture is Jared Stroud wearing an Austin FC uniform, and the other is with a St. Louis uniform. And then the obviously Pam is saying they're the same picture. And I want to talk about the play in particular because Stroud obviously played for Austin FC last year. Didn't play that much, but clearly also Kipp Keller didn't play that much either.
He didn't.
So I think it was a big moment, I think for both of them.
Yeah.
But you can see Stroud, and when you watch the replays over and over, he is He had his hands down. He does. We always we talk about this all the time. That it's a common. We say it's usually the Argentinians that do this. Is that when they don't receive a ball that they should receive, whatever, whether it's a tap in, whether it's just a great opportunity, they point at their feet in a very angry manner. And Stroud kind of did that. He was like, "Hey, I'm open." And Keller passed him the ball in the 18-yard box, which was effectively just like a tap in, and it was just an absurd moment. And I think it's embarrassing for Kipp Keller. It felt almost a little even embarrassing for Stroud as well.
So that's what I was going to ask. Where do you fall on was Jared Stroud are you mad at Jared Stroud?
I'm not mad at him, but so in extra time, you guys brought up and I haven't had this conversation with anyone, but you guys brought up like that. Maybe this is like against the rules.
So don't say you guys. I don't want to all get looped in. Doyle very specifically wanted to bring up that there was a rule against this, which feels like a narc move.
We all say Doyle's a cop. We all say
exactly. So they specifically wanted to bring up that rule. I think what Jared Stroud did was wrong, and I don't think that a ref should be involved in fixing it. I think the laws of the land and ecosystem should solve it.
Next
you get
game.
what I'm saying? Yeah.
Okay.
I was shocked he got through that game. Quite honestly.
Yeah.
And not trying to encourage people to hurt people or whatever, but I know me.
Some Austin FC fans, they were throwing stuff when he got off the pitch.
And they were booing him.
They were booing him up.
He did the full lap because he went off the other side.
Right.
And again, this is a guy who used to play for them, was on their inaugural team, was in the expansion draft. He technically goes back as far as any Austin FC player can. It's only a year, 2 years.
Austin FC legend, Jared Stroud. We all know that.
the tradition and culture and history you're talking about. And they were furious at him. And I would be too. And if I was on St. Louis, on Austin, I would have said something and I probably would have done something.
Yeah.
I don't think the ref should make a call because of it, but it is clear that he tried to take advantage. There's some defense, which is he's actually in a line with Stuver. Mm-hmm. So if Keller was playing back to Stuver and just didn't notice him, he would have been in the same spot. So there's a world in which you could argue he wasn't actually playing to Stroud. I don't think that's real.
No. But he clearly, Keller is. It's just one of those things where you're just not fully focused and paying attention to what you hear, and you're like, oh, my teammate's there.
Also, you don't think.
Right.
The guy on the other team who you played with for 2 years is going to do that. And I have never asked this before, so now I'm going to start asking players. But I'm curious if at a pro level, if other people have ever experienced that. Because I have never really been in a game where that's happened at that level. And I would be shocked if, I don't know, you think Henry went to Barcelona and then played Arsenal and was calling for the ball? Right. It feels like a weird thing to do.
I got yellow carded in a game once for yelling when somebody was going to take a shot.
Yeah, and I've seen.
So that's a rule. This one doesn't. It's hard to.
It's the same concept. I think the rule's the same rule. One of the ones I said that I've seen is when a ball goes back and you're charging the goalkeeper, people will scream and go
right.
That's also a foul or a card or whatever. I think they all come out of the same but now you're getting into British nobility, right? Because that's probably where those rules come from.
Right.
That Netflix show where everyone was a coal miner playing soccer.
It's an interesting conversation. In a weird way, it almost feels like most American soccer fans may not be even. I didn't know about the rule, but you couldn't yell. It took me doing that to. I'm like, let me look up rule 44 point whatever. I'm like, yo, he's right. I wasn't supposed to.
The ref takes out the book. He's folding through.
So it's an interesting nuanced conversation, but I feel bad for Kipp Keller because it's just gonna be what the hell is this guy doing? Yeah. I'm sure it was in a top 10 or something like that.
Well, and. So what's funny as well is I've known Jared for a while because he played for Red Bulls too, which is my favorite team in the world.
All right.
Red Bulls. Not a Red Bulls fan. Only Red Bulls too. I don't go past. Well, now they're in MLS Next Pro, so we'll see. And he's a good guy.
Yeah.
I've seen him grind through his career. He works hard.
Call him right now. Positions. Ask him why.
I don't know what happened. And the funny part connected to it is his brother, who just signed with Red Bulls as a homegrown and actually played this weekend out of Duke. I've covered him in youth settings where he's been a bit of what's my cursing level on that?
You can curse that, man.
He's been a bit of a shit starter. He's some wild situation. And anytime I tell Jared about it, he goes, that sounds like Peter. So he like has thrown it on him. Like I wouldn't, that's him. That's his side of the family. And now he caught himself in this, which I thought was a little bit odd.
Yeah. I mean, look, I'm sure St. Louis fans are happy Jared Stroud's on there too. They're like, whatever. Yeah. Like, I mean, you saw even the away fans there were like, they were stoked. That was great. But look, nonetheless, an entertaining game. I think one of the more entertaining games out of the weekend.
5 goals.
Doesn't hurt.